Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Grim Dawn. We are playing with our Drain Essence Death Knight on hardcore. And we are entering Act 2 now. We are done hunting for ethereals today. Apocalypse Cowboys are on the menu. And, well, they are about easy to take down as what came before. It's still very enjoyable to see them try and attack me, only to just explode whenever Spectral Wrath lashes back out at him. And ooh, look at that. In between episodes, I did a little bit of revision on gear. And we now have a low level 18 relic equipped. And that is the cause of all the nice, lovely sparks. It is called Calamity. It's a placeholder until level 25 when we can get Gluttony, which will in turn be a placeholder until 35, where we can get Mortality, which gives us +1 to all Necro skills. But for now, Calamity is probably the best of the starter relics, due to the simple fact that it has a attack that procs whenever you attack, or 5% chance of an attack, and we attack very often with our Drain Essence, so it's gonna trigger relatively often as well. So another small change is the belt now has an anti-venom solve in it, rather than the armor plates that we've been lugging about for a while. Simple reason, this one is strictly better. The other one is 15 armor, this is 24, and it also gives some health regen and poison resist. In addition, I also thought to bring 2 Wrathstones with me. One I already had, one I crafted. So when we hit level 20, both our weapon and our shield can get one. So always remember Edmund's stash in the building here. It's a big chest. This time only money came out. Sometimes you get better drops. But it is easy to forget because it is inside. Ooh, box. More loot is always good. Okay. So the goal for this episode is, on the one hand, get to the next waypoint, as always. But most importantly, it is to get to this Pint Cove and pick up a Spectral War Shield. Okay. Can't lose hope. Please join us. Open the rift gate. Yes. So that's more people that will join us in town. Okay, these things, they if they get to the job of throwing, I was gonna say, if they get to into the habit of throwing things at you, those golems, then you're gonna get a bit of a headache. They hit for over 1,000 points of damage, at least this early in the game, and that is probably mostly because your resists are low. And armor is low, and everything that reduces incoming damage is just low. Book of Kaiman, first passage. Always lovely. Later on, we get to choose between 2 factions, Kaiman's Chosen and the Necromancers. Of course, we're gonna go with the Necromancers. Okay, there's 2 heroic bulls. Okay, there's only one here, the other one is still around the corner, that's good. Taking them one by one is a little less risky than taking them 2 at a time. So though, don't forget to just sweep a little bit over all the available targets. And in the end, you will burn through the enemy. He's gonna get us that much closer to level 20. Ah, poor Drew Larkin here. What happened to you? I'll track down your partner. So we'll take the conventional route. We'll just follow the tracks here. Oh. Little secret sign. There's a corpse here with a treasure chest. And some green items. Anything good? Caster item. Well, Reckless Guardian. It's nice if you are into caster items. And this one, Height Glass of Alacrity. Elemental damage, not quite our thing. Spirit is useful. Offensive ability, attack speed, energy absorption. Yeah. not all that great for us. So we'll just continue our merry way. And of course the Spine Cove is right down there. But there's another entrance that will take shortly. Hello, Izzy. Make it quick. You get to plea on your own behalf. I'm sorry I rushed to judgment. You're not a bad guy after all. And then we take a left, we attack the waypoint and then Spine Cove o'clock. Well, after saying hello to the rovers. Spine Cove, it's that thing that you just keep postponing until you won't be upon it anymore. Ooh, Berserker Call, another one that's got one in the first couple of episodes as well. I will search for your elder. And then I will sell all the rubbish I just got. I need the money. I mean, I spent all the money on crafting things. It is kind of useful. Yeah, it is kind of useful to have a little bit more money. Bernard, trouble with bandits. Well, I can help you. So they're gonna send us to the left, but we are gonna go back to the right. The hitting level 20 is gonna be a massive damage increase, because we'll have 2 auras that both increase our damage by, or our ether damage by 100%. It's stacking, so it's not gonna double our damage. We already have about 150% increased damage, but adding another 200% on top of the base 150 or so is gonna double our effective ether damage. And right now that is at 39 per tick. Wait, is it suddenly that low? It is that low. Well, oh yeah, I of course forgot. Vitality is not listed there. And that is the thing that right now actually does more damage. Ooh, they keep coming. It's the gift that keeps giving XP. A little meal. Oh, so I gotta fill up on that constitution. And then undead. Oh yes. Wasn't there a ruin up here? Before we dive into the Spine Cove, of course. Let's get distracted by ruins. Yes, yes. And there was lore here, which is guaranteed XP. And oh, Balthazar, Eternal Servant of Dreek. You are... I was gonna say you're gonna be the snack that gets us to level 20, but I think one of your minions already did that. There's a dust-covered journal here. And gloves. Zealot gloves. A lot more armor than we currently have. Offensive ability, attack and cast speed, and skill disruption protection. Lose a little bit of elemental resists, lose a tiny speck of spirit, a bit of vitality, but gain a bunch of armor, which is in turn going to make us much, much tankier. I think I'm just going to go for it. It seems like a good plan. Okay, so Wrathstone into our... Oh, no. That's the thing we're not going to do. It's going to go into our weapon for now. That's going to be ether weapons. And we can actually have a look here. So 42 ether. We activate a Diora 51 ether. It's going to slowly go up. We can afford another point of spirit. And we were working on the soldier sites. So this is at 3, that's going to go to 4, that's going to go to 5. And then on the necro side, spectral binding. That is good. And then next level we can actually start advancing the mastery bar again. Reason I'm not putting anything in the shield, even though I was very, very tempted to. I want to replace the shield. So it's better to just keep it. Because we are so close to replacing it anyway. At least I hope we get to find a shield that allows us to replace it. Man, the enemies, they just explode whenever they attack. But keep in mind, we do have some ether retaliation damage. 84. Whenever anyone hits us with a attack, that's 84 ether and 18 pierce as well, which we got from a helmet or some other piece of gear. But yeah, now taking the slightly longer scenic route to the Spine Cove. It is nice, now you do get to fight a bunch of undead. And read a bit of lore. So, Spine Cove, it has a devotion shrine and it has ghosts. Most important bit for me are the ghosts. Though, well, devotion shrines are of course nice. Haunted champions are gonna be the thing that we wanna kill as many of as possible. Since they're the ones that have the potential to drop a Spectral War Shield. Oh, hello there. A reflective enemy. Also, I have my aura bar up. It's better to go to the active bar. Early on doesn't really matter. You could put everything on the same bar. Well, I could just do this and only have a single bar to worry about, but I do like just having everything on, all the buffs on one bar. So you won't accidentally toggle them off, for example. That's another way of looking at it. And boom. So I'll just clear the snow to prevent accidentally hitting buttons. That is a two-handed axe, so it is useless to me. Getting some ancient armor bits. There is armor absorption here, global armor boost, things like that. That's nice stuff in there. Unfortunately, not enough. Hello there, haunted champion. Let's actually, for the fun of it, put it back to yellow. I don't think it really matters much. But at least it feels like stuff is dropping. Because these ghosts, they're just not dropping anything, it sounds like. Looks like. I did hear something, but I guess that was a white item. Yeah, see? Stuff is dropping. Just making sure I'm not going silly here. That is the epic one. Okay. Green. Yes. So, Spectral Obelisk. That is one of the item types that can drop here. Ghosts have crossbows. But all I want is the shields. So one of the tricky bits of the ghosts is of course that they have a habit of popping out whenever you don't really want them to. Getting overwhelmed. But like what we have, well, we have quite a bit of resiliency and area of effect lashback against whoever tries to attack. So now we'll make short work of those things, but no, they could cause damage spikes if you are not careful. And especially in this area, ghosts are tricky, they will pop out. Especially if you're moving around and you are gonna trigger extra packs of ghosts, things like that. Another electrified hero. It's better to just clear areas around, for example, devotion shrines before triggering them. It's a tower shield. Ah, that's just a old-fashioned wooden shield. It's not a ghostly shield. Ecto. Oh, we discovered we can craft them, so we don't really need them. But they're nice. Let's save some crafting. Okay, there's two heroes and a bunch of other things. Spectral longsword. Okay, maybe I can just get both of you closer. Maybe I won't actually get meteors on my head. Spectral War Shield. Hell yeah. Okay, cool. So we found ourselves an endgame weapon. Shield. Level 21. No! So, the base item, they start dropping at 20, but of course the enchantments, if a level 21 enchantments decide to be attached to it, then of course it's gonna require 21. Spectral War Shield is my shield of choice for this build, because of the bottom 3 lines. If you're feeling generous, you can even say the bottom 4 lines. +2 to drain essence, so that's gonna either save you skill points or just gonna give you more damage. +2 target area to drain essence. Simply allows you to reach further with the skill. So now you can shoot at enemies from slightly further away, so you can get 2 more meters of damage in on them as they charge towards you or as they flee from you. 10% chance of affecting up to 2 targets to drain essence. This stacks with the other one. At least that's what the interface likes me to believe. So once we equip it, 14% chance of affecting up to 2 targets goes up to 24 chance of affecting up to 4 targets. And that only gets better. So once we max out the relevant skills, this is gonna push us close to 50% of affecting up to, I think, 7 targets. It's gonna get ludicrous pretty quickly. An 8% skill energy cost reduction to drain essence is just gonna be nice, because as I've been saying quite a bit, it is an energy hungry skill. So if you curtail that a little bit, it's gonna be nice. For the rest, there's some vitality retaliation in here, bonus to all retaliation, bit of lightning and vitality resistance. I think the vitality resistance is a built-in. Lightning is the one that rolled as a bonus. That's the off frostbite part, I suspect. We get some cold damage, frostburn, and negating is probably the resistance part. But either way, this is going to be a very nice shield. But I do need to level up one more time, but we can put this one in advance. And I think we found all the things that Ghost can drop. Now Spectral Longswords, that tied to Shadow Strike. Spectral Battle Axe, that's Marista's Blade Burst. And the Spectral Obelisk, which is Phantasmal Blade. So there's a lot of Nightblade stuff. And this is a Necromancer thing. And we got a Board Blade. Oh, Night Hunters, that's Night Chill is once again Nightblade. Also, there's no energy on here, so I don't really care. And we cleared that. I was so happy with the Spectral War Shield, I completely forgot about the devotions. So we completed the turtle. Next up is the bat. Bonus to Vitality Decay. That is neat. That's the damage over time component here. It's only getting better. And next level, of course, it gets best of all. Anything down here? Yeah, see? A couple more, and then even more. So this is not a bad place to actually do some farming. No, just clear out the area, go back to the main menu, go back in to the waypoint, and then clear out the area again. For the simple reason that, of course, you get multiple potential for multiple of these drops. Spectral War Shield is the base, the negating and the frostbite parts are just modifiers or affixes that I got attached to them. There are many possible ones. These are only the ones that rolled. So if you roll multiple shields, of course, you get multiple choices. On the other hand, if you get something that looks okay, get it, move on, because there will be more ghosts. There are always more ghosts. And in the not too distant future, we're gonna go to the Arcovian Undercity. There are skeletons and there are ghosts down there. And I think usually most runs through the Arcovian Undercity, at least one ghostly shield or Spectral War Shield is gonna be yours. Sometimes even more. Let's see. Might as well just go this way. Now do the Elder Quest first, then grab ourselves a stick of dynamite and then blow up the doors. Or actually do it in reverse, where you can go through the mines, exit out at the other one, the other exit, entrance, doorway, because you can go in and out, so then it's not really an entrance or an exit. Lots of bugs here. I think bugs there were tied to piercing damage. And they tend to have quite a bit of initial damage. If you get charged by a bunch of bugs, they can actually do quite some damage, even if after the initial hit you kill all of them. Oh, they really charge you for quite some Alpha Strike damage. Getting some royal jelly over here. It's stuff you can make potions out of that give you passive health regen, which is pretty neat. Just taking a little bit of a scenic route here. Aha. They're mostly exploding by virtue of attacking me. And there is one stick of dynamite, and it was not even the one that we were sent out here to get, so we're getting a bonus. Nicholas Balthazar. Oh, that's also one of the things, of course. This is my... No, the hardcore side of my characters. And early on in Grim Dawn, coming from a background in all the Diablos and Path of Exile, I play a lot of hardcore. So in Grim Dawn I was like, let's just start on hardcore. Well, that was back in the betas. That's a lesson I quickly learned. Well, if a game is in beta, hardcore might not be the best of ideas because balance a bit iffy. And of course you're learning the game, and the game keeps changing. So well, I stopped doing that for quite a while. And then did a bunch of YouTube series where I just play characters through the base campaign. And at some point, I accidentally started a hardcore character and decided to roll with it. That became the accidentally hardcore damage retaliation reflection. Hello there, reflective enemy. Commando, soldier / commando. But it's also funny that it is actually my only character that actually made it to ultimate difficulty. I just went to the highest difficulty on hardcore just to see if I could get there, and surprisingly that worked out. But it also means that now that side of the account is a little underdeveloped. Ooh. We get to equip it. That also means we get a second aura that we can equip. The ether damage, the retaliation damage is gonna stack. The ether bonus damage is gonna stack. Everything's gonna stack, which is rather nice. So one more point into spirit, and then I think the next. Oh no, wait, we're actually boosting our soldier bar, so that gave us a little bit more physique. I'm still trying to stick to the 11 times level rule that I set up for myself, so I'm inching really close up to it. But no, as I was saying, I don't really have all that many resources saved up on hardcore, so I don't really have a large stack of dynamite, for example, that I could just pick up for this character. So I actually have to do some of the missions in order to find the resources. Back to the portal now, just to have a chat. A fun thing, the elder here, you can actually obtain. I destroyed the thing, and we got another bag. I like bags. You can put stuff into bags. I found the elder. I'm sorry. So you can choose to give the talisman to the bandits. It's something I always do, and you get some good feeling about it because you did the right thing, so to say. But you can also lie and say, "Hey, I didn't find it," and then actually you get a bone talisman item, which I have never done. So. What is it? 5% bonus to physique, cunning and spirit. Then you get an active skill, mana infusion. 35-second recharge, 10-second duration, 100% bonus to all damage, 20 energy regenerated per second and energy regenerated by 30%. So this is roughly a quarter to a third of the time you can increase your damage and massively increase your energy regeneration, instead of having the calamity proc every once in a while. I think we're just gonna do that one. And let's switch back to the active bar and set up our very first active skill, Mana Infusion. That's gonna be neat. So we'll just transfer that over at a later time. Sell all the things. Bit more armor here. Yeah, I think that we just sort through the items that we found and then call it the end of an episode. Let's see, this one can go into the stash, that one needs to be cleansed. This one doesn't really offer all that much. 5% chance of stun retaliation is actually not bad in a build like this. I will keep drawing parallels between this build and the Commando, simply because to me this is the spiritual successor. No pun on Spectral War Shields there. In a strict retaliation build, what you want is enemies attacking you, because if enemies are not attacking you, you're not dealing damage to them. So in that build, I really came to dislike crowd control abilities of any sort because it really drastically lowered my damage output. For this build, retaliation, reflection, all kinds of other lashback retaliatory effects are just a bonus because we have Train Essence that is gonna murder their faces. So actually stunning enemies, knocking enemies down is great because it simply reduces the damage that we take. And so the trade-off here is, do we give up a little bit of movement speed in exchange for more armor and slightly better defensive options? I think we will do that. Also, it's costing me quite some physique, so definitely useful to focus on that. Also, we have 2 items that do need to have new components put into them, so that's also something we can have a look at. This one does not have energy regen, so I don't care about it. I'm going to be really strict about that. Okay, we already had a look at the ghostly items. Rings, no energy, so... And for the rest, nothing really all that interesting. Well, different wrong kind of shield. This one, I like the Ether Lightning. The Ether damage especially is gonna scale along with the build. So that is not a bad weapon to have. Until we probably at some point get a blue weapon that has a proc that reduces resists or does something fancy. And these gloves are simply a downgrade. This one is not useful, so I'm actually just gonna sell it. And same one here. I'll be... I already have the stash overflowing with a lot of items, so unless something is gonna give plus to all skills or be incredibly useful, I'm probably gonna err on the side of just selling most of the blue items I'm not gonna use. And this one, not really that great. Okay, so... got a little bit of money and we have some things to craft, so let's head back to town and have a look at it. I'm not gonna make a habit out of crafting at the end of every episode, but every once in a while it is neat to do it. Oh, we have some components that were useful to remove. On the other hand, no. Are we? Yeah, we're gonna. So it's a good habit, even though technically I'm not sure if a bristly fur is worth spending money on to recover. Same for scavenge platings, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Just because. Anything else? No, not really. We do have yellow pants that are useful to upgrade at some point. Right, while we are walking over to this side, hey, there's Mornay. You want to talk to me? Oh yeah, we killed Shanks, of course. Next plan, kill Mr. Dude, Darius Cronley. Steven Skinner, you were put up in this prison, weren't you? Yeah, there. Steven Skinner and the people you were about to burn alive, and we get Skinner's family seal for that. A little bit of health, a bit of physical damage, so not really useful for us, but no, it's something we can sell. And if you're playing a physical build, then of course it is going to be useful for you. So just put all the crafting things in here, put the relics in here, and put in the components we're not going to use anymore. Great. Do we have... Well, what's in terms of resists? We have poison resist that could be boosted a little bit. And then we have fire and we have cold in terms of elements that can be boosted. Bleeding is almost at nothing. It would be useful to boost it, and piercing is also not maxed. Whenever pierce and bleed are not maxed, I'm instantly thinking silk swatches. And we're at 21 now. I'm not sure, is it 20 or 24 that we can use it? Let's have a double check. Silk swatch. It is level 15. Oh wow, even better. And I always need to make more resilient platings in order to actually get access to them. So let's just make a couple more and make one of these. Oh wow, I'm low on serrated spikes. Of course, you need to farm bugs for those. This one goes into shoulder, chest and leg armor. I think I said something about shoulder, chest and leg. Especially shoulder, there's some armor plating in here. Getting resists out of there is probably going to be a better idea. For a hand, there are other things that we can put in, and for boots, we have the Mark of the Traveler. Let's see, that is that one. No, for every gear slot, eventually you'll just get some favorite go-to things. Unholy Inscription, for example, Vitality and Bleed Resistance always goes into the gloves. It's just great. And same for silk swatches. Now there's piercing is relatively difficult to obtain, bleeding as well. So it's just a great combination. Yeah, so we can sell that. Now we need to remove the old one from the body armor. And now there's a couple of other things. Now we could also go after all the bristly furs, but I think we'll just naturally replace those as we cycle out of old gear. So for this one, let's make sure to only keep the item. And then put in the silk swatch. And looks a little better. Looks a little better. So why do we have so much lightning resistance? Because we have 44 on our shield. That's a little unexpected, but not unwelcome. So no, there's a good chance that we'll get a molten fur and a dense fur and things like that for some of our other gear pieces to boost our fire and cold a little bit, rather than just going for something that boosts all elemental resists. Another one, anti-venom salve like we have in the belt, to boost this one a bit. It's usually see if you can boost the top row to like 40, 50, 60%, and then worry a bit more about the bottom row. We don't have any ether and chaos, for example, but right now those are not really gonna be an issue, but soon they will be. So getting into the habit of already just starting to boost some of the things is gonna be helpful. For example, Vitality, I think there's some warlocks down in... Well, it's actually our Cove in Undercity, so we're safe for like 1 or 2 more episodes, and then after that we're gonna see a bit more of the other things. But more resists always better. That's my approach to things. But for now, I think we made some excellent progress. We have our endgame shield, the Spectral War Shield. Of course, we're gonna upgrade it to higher tier drops of this one over time. Anytime we encounter ghosts, anytime we find Spectral War Shields, we're gonna have a look at it and see if we can replace it. The implicit bonus, or the Drain Essence bonus, is never gonna change, but the rest of the shield is. So block chance, blocked damage, that's all gonna go up. And the values of the Vitality Retaliation and other things is also going to scale up over time. So that is useful to keep up. But for now, I'm going to thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.